KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thami Ntuli, together with his executive, had a news conference in Durban yesterday. And this is where the Premier committed to greater transparency and improved governance. The province is dealing with billions of rands in irregular expenditure. It's a problem that the Premier says was inherited from the previous administration. You've got the hardest hit departments in that province, education and health, and they have been enduring budget cuts over the last 7 years. So let's talk about financial recovery, turnaround and political survival with Premier Thami Ntuli, who joins us on the program. Good morning, Premier. Thank you very much for your time. Really do appreciate it. We might circle back to some of the issues that the AG had highlighted in her report not too long ago. But let's go to one of the headlines out of your financial recovery plan yesterday. One of the things it's promising is 1.5 billion rand in annual savings. We have seen, though, previous turnaround strategies in your province fail because there was non-compliance and weak implementation. What makes this plan different?
Good morning and to yourself and to the viewers at home, and thank you for having me. I think our financial recovery plan has been tested and is tried and tested as we've been able to avoid an over expenditure which was projected of more than 2 billion. That on its own is an evidence that there is now financial discipline. We have been discussing this financial recovery plan as the Executive Council, or rather the Cabinet of KwaZulu-Natal, and we felt that we now are at a point wherein we can concretize the plan by communicating to the public that though we inherited a budget under the financial or fiscal stress, but we are in fact moving now to a direction wherein we are saying from 2025, 2029, we should be able, in fact, to have saved a lot because of the financial recovery plan that we are putting forward. And we are saying the issue of consequence management will be the order of the day for non-compliance. Hence, the signature there on the pledge is led by the Premier, but supported by the MECs, all the MECs committing that they will be championing this recovery plan, which in fact was not just a new thing altogether in terms of practice and in terms of the results, as I've indicated, that we have been able to at least have the financial stability while ensuring that also the services to the people are not compromised.
So one of the things you mentioned there was consequence management. And just to extract from the AG's report, the Department of Education alone racking up hundreds of millions of rands in unauthorized expenditure. And you've also said the MECs have signed this pledge to commit to your plan and to make it real and to behave better, I guess, in managing the money. But have there been any consequences for the HOD of the Department of Health in your province or even the MEC with regard to unauthorized expenditure?
No, you see, what you must understand is the reason for that unauthorized expenditure. You see, the two departments that are the biggest when you talk about health and education in the province, and they're the biggest employer. And what affected the financial stability in the province as an added burden was the issue of the late conclusion of the salary negotiations. And they were concluded after the sixth administration concluded the budget plan for the province. So that added an unaccommodated portion, because with the estimates that they had, in fact, became lower than what the salary negotiations concluded. As a result, that has made the two departments to be compelled, in fact, to find itself having to pay salaries to the educators so that you would keep the numbers of the educators in schools, so that the learners will receive quality education. So then even if there are such factors, but when the AG analyzes the books of the department, will pick up that you have spent more than the plan, we have spent more than what you could afford. Therefore, it's a situation that we are addressing. However, whenever there is a specific area of negligence, and then the consequence management then finds expression. And we are implementing the consequence management, but I wanted just to give a broader picture that for the two departments, they are under severe stress financially because of that added burden.
And that would have been then an unexpected outcome. As you say, you couldn't predict how those salary negotiations would go. What makes your plan, what inoculates your plan from something similar happening?
We are saying in our financial recovery plan, budgeting method going forward will have to these frontline departments put them at the apex so that we try and ensure that they do not end up not being able to at least even accommodate the baseline budget of the departments. The MEC for finance and the MEC for both health and education, they are analyzing the issue of the baseline for the two departments so that when budgeting is actually done, it will accommodate that kind of baseline so that we'll at least try and ensure that the two departments, they reduce the stress that is affecting them. But I must say, there is quite a significant improvement in terms of even the financial behavior. With the departments, they are saving some money. We're able to see that the way they spend now, they are able, in fact, to reprioritize, which is promising that as the entire government, all departments will be able to deliver the 1.5 billion, which is our target annually until 2029, wherein we will say our financial position as government is stable without compromising the service to the people.
Well, you know, a plan is only going to be as good as the person driving it, a leader who's invested in it and who's going to see it through to fruition. What is, you know, what is your future looking like, Premier, given that, you know, there are a number of targets on your back with regard to your position? There's a motion of no confidence scheduled, I think it's for Monday, the 15th. Your majority and your position is secured, some would say, by a razor-thin majority on your side, which keeps you there. What's going to happen with regard to the proposed motion of no confidence, do you think? Because where you stand right now is dependent on this fragile cooperation between the DA, the ANC, the IFP and the NFP.
Well, you see, what is good about this motion of no confidence is that it was registered by an opposition party that has never had a confidence over the GPU, including over the Premier. They contested during the election of the Premier and the Speaker and the likes. So they've never had a confidence. They've never debated even the legislature to suggest that they have confidence. So it's not, in fact, a fashionable thing to us. It's not a new thing. But you must know that even when the establishment of government was done, they never supported that kind of establishment. There is nothing new now about this motion of no confidence. In any event, one is just saying, let's go to Monday, and then we will talk after Monday. You'll be still talking to myself.
I'm only laughing because I'm just giggling at your confidence. So would you say the NFP is in the bag? I mean, nothing to worry about there.
Well, I'm not aware of any party. You see, what is good about this government, the political parties, they have representatives in a government that are adding up numbers that form government. So we have never had any glitch or glitches rather within the Government of Provincial Unity. Hence, I'm saying we established this government together, and there is no need to suggest that now, when we have never seen us being part of the GPU registering a vote of no confidence, to think that is a fashionable vote of no confidence that is spoken about because it's registered by people who never had a confidence, who in fact, in any event, when the government was established, said, oh, this government is not going to finish 3 months. After 3 months, they said, not 6 months. After 6 months, they said a year. After that, they said, no, let us change now the strategy, a vote of no confidence. So it's not a fashionable thing. What is quite unfortunate.
I can still hear you, Premier. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. What is quite unfortunate is that the investor confidence in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, investment and job opportunities, the stability in government, and the issue of a crime state is pointing to a direction that is positive. And it's unfortunate that when we engage in politics, we will not prioritize the people of the province to say, for the kind of the stability and for the kind of the progress that we see, whether we're in from the opposition desk, we should be able to acknowledge the fact of that it is quite very important to have a stable province.
Right. Well, Premier, as you say, you're still going to be the guy in the chair come Monday. We'll invite you on Tuesday morning. Thanks for talking to us.